Welcome to this explainer. Okay, we're just going to jump right into this. We are literally standing at the edge of a massive paradigm shift in how businesses operate. We aren't just talking about smarter chatbots anymore. No way. Today, we're looking at the anatomy of the fully autonomous AI employee. We're going to break down Google Gemini's 2026 evolution, specifically looking at the architecture that makes this massive leap from basic conversational chat to independent automated labor a reality.
So, I want you to honestly ask yourself right now, is your business strategy already obsolete? I know it sounds a bit traumatic, but if your enterprise is still relying on outdated manual business scripts, brittle APIs, and that classic human-in-the-loop latency to navigate today's hyper-volatile markets, well, the answer might actually be yes.
There's this incredible visionary document circulating in the industry right now. It's known as 24/7, and it puts this whole situation perfectly. It says, a new era of agentic spirits is navigating global market volatility with zero human intervention. That phrase right there, agentic spirits, that represents a complete fundamental departure from those rigid logic gates we're so used to. It's the core concept we're going to be unpacking for you today.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, the death of the script. Second, the Gemini brain. Third, the Stateful Interactions API. Fourth, the Model Context Protocol. And finally, sandbox managed agents.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the death of the script.
So this is exactly where traditional command structures finally collapse. On one side, we have the old way. You know it well. Manual coding, static if-then logic gates, and super high latency. Honestly, this is a massive bottleneck for enterprise scalability. But on the other side, Agentic Spirits. These are fluid, totally self-correcting, autonomous frameworks. They care about the end goal, not just blindly following rigid instructions. They execute complex pivots without a single line of static code, literally turning raw data into sentient operational power. It's a total game changer.
Moving right along into Section 2. The Gemini brain.
To power an agentic spirit, you need an absolute beast of an engine. And this isn't just about being smart, right? It's about being incredibly fast and efficient at scale. Just look at this number. We're seeing a massive 42.12% stateful cache hit rate for the Gemini 3 Flash Preview model running on Google AI Studio. By managing stake on the server side, you get this unbelievable cache hit rate across conversational turns. That drastically cuts down on your token costs and latency, especially for multi-turn conversations and those long-running agent loops.
And the raw reasoning power of that brain is just staggering. To put it into perspective, the Gemini 3 Flash model hits a remarkable 78.0% on the SWE-bench verified coding benchmark. It's actually outperforming the flagship Gemini 3 Pro model there. It also scores an 81.2% on MMMU-Pro for multimodal reasoning. This kind of high-speed, high-value thinking is exactly the foundation you need to support truly autonomous self-correcting behavior.
Let's look at Section 3, the Stateful Interactions API.
Now, with a brain that powerful, you obviously need a highly advanced nervous system to carry its signals. If you've ever built AI apps before, you probably used the legacy Generate Content API. And if so, you know the absolute headache of manually managing and constantly resending the entire conversation history from the client side. Well, the new Interactions API changes all of that and represents a total shift to stateful, server-side context orchestration. It is completely purpose-built for multi-step tool use and really complex reasoning flows.
Let's walk through how this technical flow actually works in practice, because it's pretty brilliant. It all centers around a core resource called an interaction. Step 1, you send your request. Step 2, the server returns a unique interaction ID. And Step 3, on your very next turn, you just pass that ID right back into the previous _interaction ID field. That's literally it. The server automatically pulls up the entire conversation history and, more importantly, the encrypted thought signatures it needs to maintain its reasoning context. You never have to resend those massive text blocks ever again.
And here's where it gets even cooler. If you're orchestrating deep reasoning loops or giant multi-step data extractions, you absolutely cannot afford to keep client connections open for minutes or even hours at a time. But by passing one simple parameter, literally just background equals true, you offload the execution entirely to the server asynchronously. The connection closes immediately. From there, you can just poll for the status or use webhooks to get a ping when the agent finally finishes its task.
All right, Section 4, the Model Context Protocol.
Now that our AI employee can think and manage its own memory, it needs hands. It needs to actually interact with your business. Enter MCP, the Model Context Protocol. Think of MCP as the universal USB-C port for AI applications. It's an open standard originally created by Anthropic, and it has quickly become the absolute default integration surface. Instead of writing custom API scripts for every single tool your agent uses, MCP standardizes how the agent reaches out to take action or pull data. This massively cuts down on custom integration costs and ensures your AI stays within pre-approved boundaries without giving it direct access to your core infrastructure.
To make this tool connectivity happen seamlessly, MCP supports three main technical transport mechanisms. First, you've got Stdio. This is what you use when you want to spawn a local subprocess and communicate via standard input and output. Then you have server-sent events, or SSE, along with Streamable HTTP. Both of those use HTTP requests for remote server communication. This level of flexibility means your Agentic Spirit can safely interact with everything from a simple local file system all the way up to a highly secure remote corporate network.
And finally, Section 5, Sandboxed Managed Agents.
So where does this hyper-capable digital worker actually sit? I mean, when you deploy an AI to independently execute code or manage files, IT leaders rightly freak out about security. Well, managed agents are the solution. They are essentially robot workers that you provision via a single API call directly into secure remote Linux sandboxes. This is true security by design. It ensures that any model-generated code execution is completely walled off and isolated from your core host systems.
A really prime example of this in action is the Antigravity agent. This actually ships as the default coding assistant in the Interactions API. By simply calling antigravity-preview-05-2026, you instantly spin up an agent that's capable of performing complex, multi-step tasks. We're talking deep reasoning, local file operations, tool use, the whole shebang. And it all happens safely contained within its very own sandbox workspace.
But here's the thing, deploying these at a massive enterprise scale means you need serious governance. You can't just let them run wild. The Gemini Enterprise Agent Platform provides exactly the tools you need to safely deploy these agentic spirits. Every single agent gets a cryptographic agent identity for auditable tracking. You also get an agent registry for approved tools, an agent gateway that enforces model armor protections against data leakage, and real-time agent anomaly detection to flag any unusual reasoning the second it happens.
So, we've just seen how raw computational power, stateful architecture, standardized connectivity, and secure sandboxing all come together to create the true anatomy of an autonomous AI employee. I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to take away. As these agentic spirits start replacing manual workflows everywhere, is your enterprise ready to dismantle its legacy scripts to survive the 2026 economy? The tools to build this autonomous future are literally sitting here today. It's totally up to you to deploy them. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and we'll see you next time.